there is much more awareness, much more education about traumas. The awareness is growing and expanding very well. And through this knowledge, we gain deeper insight, deeper awareness to recognize what still creates certain challenges, deeper obstacles. And from the level of the psychology and how traumas wire up in our system, they create certain filtering and do not allow us to see with greater clarity because of the filtering that is still wired and veiled with a certain life experience that you've had, or several minor ones, or certain circumstances that have changed your wiring system. These may be seen as frozen energies, distorted wiring, and they do bring a lot of further challenges in our lives. And if it's not you or yourself that have been through some challenging past life experiences, I'm sure you have some people around you that have. And so becoming more informed of traumas and how we can support that is very essential to all of us. And it's also important to acknowledge it, because yes, if we speak from our deepest true essence, we are of course beyond all of that. But when we speak from the place of our humanness, we must acknowledge our deepest obstacles. We must acknowledge any traumas so that we can resolve them, heal them. And the true healing happens when we open to this pure divine light. So what I mean by this is that when we look at the psychology or how things are wired up from this level, we can only do so much. The healing is limited. The capacity is limited. A human being can only do so much. But as we begin to open our higher consciousness, we start reconnecting with a higher light. That higher light permeates within us ever deeper. It encompasses any traumas, these frozen energies, this wiring system, in a such greater way that yes, it may bring up more of it because there is more higher light present. So thus it brings it up more clearer, so to speak, but at the same time, it's being encompassed with a higher light, a higher love, meaning that trauma is healing on a much deeper level. So the higher the level of consciousness, the deeper the healing takes place. The higher we open, the deeper we go within us. And that is the beauty of the higher light. It's not that through the higher light we are negating the humanness, but what we are ultimately doing here is we are bridging the gap of unconsciousness. And through bridging the gap and integrating the higher light, we are resolving the deepest obstacles, thus integrating that higher light, divine light, into this humanness. So this is the process of becoming a divine human. Yes, it's an all-encompassing, but of course there is a process in the middle. There is a process of resolving these very challenging energies. They do require your greater strength, which is your higher light of consciousness, because without that, it is not truly possible to truly heal yourself in your deepest level. Because it is only by opening up to the highest light that can permeate at the deepest level in you. Right? And we must find a balance here. We must find a balance because if we are only fixated on our past, on our traumas, yes, we may spiral even further deeper into that, and that doesn't necessarily mean you are gaining a higher light to support it. On the other hand, if you negate the humanness, if you try to escape what is within you unresolved, and you escape into the light of divine, and you escape into the blissful light of divine, and yet not taking care to integrate that light in this here and now, we are also missing the point, isn't it? It is not integral. That is not an integral way. Now, at the deepest level, you may still be finding yourself running away from your humanness. It's not complete, it's not integral at all. So we find a balance, how to bring a higher harmony, to bridge the gaps of unconsciousness, to resolve the frozen energies that actually create our biggest obstacles to move forward and transcend these deepest challenges of our lives, connected to our lives, attached, entangled with life. So finding a balance is the way, so that you neither spiral down in one direction nor negate any humanness and find some kind of retreat in that escapism of higher light. Okay, so it is very important for us to acknowledge that, be truthful to yourself, to see where you generally are where your focus is placed upon. And in this way, it will surely be the most healthiest way to approach the life that you live in the most integral of ways. So, something else to share with you is that we need to acknowledge that traumas or challenging obstacles may have become very normal to live in a certain way. In other words, you may say it's like hardwired, normal. You don't know any other way. And that becomes a borrowed identity. It becomes a borrowed identity created by your past, of which in those times you may have had no power to resolve what was going on and how that was happening. So thus, you became powerless. And through that powerlessness and even unsafety or abandonment or any kind of abuse that one may have undergone, we then borrow that identity, that filtering. And that is so far away than our natural authenticity. So until we transcend our past, well, we are bound to be confronted by it. So there is no mistake at all. What you experience as part in your life, there's no coincidence here. From the bigger picture, life is happening for you. Because from the deepest level, what is unfolding and coming up, it's to be resolved, healed, and for you to be liberated from that. So instead of resisting and revolting against what we are confronted by, we at first we may want to recognize that you are here in this body, and you are here in this body, and in this body, in the here and now, you are safe. Because that is one of the most challenging ways to integrate and resolve these frozen energies, is because of this heightened danger that comes part and parcel with traumas. And how most of the time when a person has been through traumas, they feel very unsafe or even live out of their body because it's too intense to live within the body. So many times there is an automated escapism, even unknowingly. The moment one senses some danger, it tries to escape itself from this vehicle, the physical, the emotional, the mental. It wants to escape it. And that is why we are bound to keep confronting the past, because we do need a higher light to be able to heal and resolve this in a much deeper way. So, of course, one of the keys to liberating ourselves from these repeated, painful impacts, yes, first of all, it lies in exploring our conditionings. how we function, how we approach life, how we see ourselves moving and approaching what we are experiencing. So becoming more inwardly aware and becoming more attentive of how the conditionings are playing out through you, because that helps you to become more inwardly aware of and seeing the clarity, having a deeper insight. And that is, of course, the beginning, the beginning to transcend these past programs that we have adopted, that we have borrowed as identities. And it is through that where we begin to unlock into this bigger freedom to return and to become our most authentic selves again. So this is a whole process. Yes, dealing with trauma. It's not something that comes and goes so easily. Many people spend years resolving traumas. Years. But know that, first of all, if you have experienced traumas and you're still struggling with them, know that you can still return to full consciousness. Absolutely. It might be slightly slower because generally there's a bit more difficulties for someone because a lot of traumas come in the way, so to speak. So there is a lot more healing to do. But the goal is still to progress to your utmost authentic self. Why is that? It's because from that higher light of God, the true light of divine, once you start really connecting with that and receiving that light, it is the most harmonious light that you can ever experience. And it is because it's so pure in its nature that will truly nourish you. That will truly heal you from the deepest level possible.